That is right. Sumo Day 0. We got to take the time, at least for now, to double check our sound balance is all correct. I will begin in just a couple of minutes. Just got to get myself some water, setting up for the evening. And yeah, I think that's just about it. Oh, thank you, wife. Thank you, TJ, for your tier 1 subscription over on the Twitch channel. And as for YouTube, we have our first membership as well, Pond Scum Baits. Thank you for the membership. You might also notice I've changed my subscriber badges, so you have a cute little Goonbai next to your name. That is courtesy of my my beautiful fiance. Because you're not subscribed.
Oh my god. Oh. I don't pay for the other one.
Japan was neat, but you couldn't get into the museum. Aw, that's unfortunate. Got a photo with a couple of the junior wrestlers at Arashio Bea. That's a good one. Alrighty. So, for this evening, here we are. For this evening, for the YouTube side, because a lot of what's going to be happening is going to be watching some videos that would definitely get me copyright striked. We are going to be going over my Bonzuke guessing game, how I did, which is 142nd. I did absolutely awful, and that is because in my guesses, I didn't put Tobizaru at Komusubi, and as a result, everything below that was completely blown out. And, well, you know, stuff happens. After that, I'll be going over my young guns and who you guys should be looking out for in these lower divisions, who's going to be exciting to see, and, well, who I think you should be on the lookout for in these lower divisions. Who is rising up, who is maybe going to fall back down, and I mentioned it in my Young Guns video, at which this is going to be basically a recap of that. The Makushita Joy is stacked, and that should be really exciting to watch. After that, the plan is to play Kachi-clash, where I will show you what my guesses are. Last Kachi-clash, I did quite well, and because of that, I moved up into, where is it? Magashira is 16. I finally made it into the top division. Tied for 228th place. That is because last time around we picked Takakeisho, Wakataka, Tobizaru. Takanosho unfortunately dragged us down, but we also chose Koto Shoho. So, you know, if I didn't choose Takanosho, well, firstly, my wife would have killed me. And secondly, I probably would have done much better. But that is okay, because we still have to play for the Haru Basho. And then after that, we're going to go back to Twitch. No more streaming on YouTube for that. To watch the ring purifying ceremony and a bunch of training videos, as well as, you know, just shooting this shit and talking about sumo. So let's get this underway. First things first, talking about the Bonzuke guessing game. Really don't need to track any of it because, like I said, 142nd place. And really the only things I got correctly were either due to dumb luck or because, you know, they were these guys up at the top. Wakataka, Hoshoryu, Kiribayama. Pretty much everybody in this very tippy top of the Sanyaku. We got those all correct. And then, like I said, I'm barely going to bother going down these ranks. And thank you so much for your subscription as well. Not Kool-Aider, your Prime subscription. Very valuable indeed. After that, Tobizaru. I said in the video that with an 8 and 7 from Magashira 1, that I don't think that's going to be enough to push him up to Komusubi. I was wrong. I was so very wrong. And I am very happy to be proven wrong there because, you know, Tobizaru's my favorite guy. Love to see him at Komusubi. Love to see him up there, and I hope he does well. I was less confident in the Sumo Association to actually put him up there is the thing. So it was a tough call to make.
That's the sound.
Thank you for the follow, Darcio Queefer. And I got absolutely screwed by it. The only other like bullseye I got was Abi, and then actually I got lucky with a few more. Abi, Mitake, Yumi. Thank you for your subscription, Zenithal. And on the Twitch side, the Redeem. We did get half points for a couple of guys like Tamawashi and Onosho here, but as for the rest of it, you can really see like Onosho may say if I scooched up Tobizaru, then they would have been bullseyes. Nishikigi, Ryuden, well, I had them separated anyway, but you know, Nishikigi, well, actually, all of them were a little screwy over here, so just not getting points for a lot of these guys. Koto Shoho, you know, a half a point again. Midori Fuji, half a point away. Hokuto Fuji, half a point away. Endo, well, he was a full rank away, so I wasn't going to get anything for him. Mainly because Takayasu fell a little bit further than I thought he would. Or not as far as I thought he would. Magashira 7 to, you know, again, I thought he was going to fall further. Ichi Yamamoto, looks like I under-promoted him. He goes up to Magashira 8. Leapfrogging over Aoyama, who I only got half a point for. Hirado Umi, again, if I had scooched up Tobizaru, I would have gotten Aoyama Hirado Umi on point. Same thing with Takanosho, I get a half a point for, but if he scooched up, then, you know, I would have missed out on that one. But the other thing I messed up all the way down here were these promotions. So I didn't expect Kinbozan, Bushozan, and Hokuseiho all to have the promotions right next to each other like this at Magashira 14. I did get the bullseye on Bushozan, which again is pretty lucky. But, you know, other than that, everyone is scooched over and up. And, well, actually, I get the one on Kotoeko too. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. I got 30 points though. So, yeah, didn't really make up for it. But overall, did not go well. And then as for the rest of the Bonzuke, the Judio Bonzuke, you can see over here, I already see someone mentioning him. Tochinoshin is indeed down in Judio. Judio 2, he's going to be fighting Ichinojo, who's at Judio 3. And Asanoyama, Judio 1 East. Those three are definitely the favorites to win the Yusho here. And you kind of got a feel for someone like Enho, like Roga, like Gonoyama, who now they have to fight these guys. Like, they cannot get around it. So it's going to be really difficult for them. But we have exciting promotions in Ochiai and Tamashoho making their debuts up here. Tamashoho in sumo for quite a long time had a bunch of different names. Finally settling on Tamashoho. And, you know, with that 4 and 3, he makes it up to Judio for the first time in his, what is this, a 12-year career? That's a long time. He's already 30 years old making his debut. Good luck to him. As well as Ochiai, who this is his second tournament In Grand Sumo, he went 7-0. Yusho from Makushita 15 Tsukedashi looked incredibly strong, and with his debut at Judio, it's going to be very exciting to see what he can do with it. Yeah, no problemo, Darcy. I really appreciate that. Takayasu is indeed poised for a comeback. Ochi is indeed a beast, and like I said, it is going to be really exciting to see these guys in action. And, you know, to follow up with that, now that we're done with the very short segment for the Guess the Banzuke, because like I said, I missed way too many points. Now, I don't want to go any deeper into that. But just taking a quick look at, you know, who we have coming up in these lower divisions. I already mentioned our rookies. Oshoma, Gonoyama, Tochi Musashi. Well, Tochi Musashi falling, but Ochi making it in his second ever tournament. January 2023, 7-0 Yusho. He is the first person to ever achieve the 7-0 Yusho and make it into Judio 14 from the Tsukedashi position. The last time that happened, a Yusho from Magashira or Makushita 15 Tsukedashi, there was a traffic jam in Judio. He made it to Makushita 1, and that was the closest that guy ever came to being salaried. The first day is not today, it is tomorrow. Today is day 0, where we will be going over basically a small preview show of sorts. But yes, Ochi going to be really exciting to look forward to. Tochi Musashi has been really slumping since that Yusho he had back in September. I really hope he can, start recovering because he's looking miserable. Whereas we have someone like Gonoyama, 2 straight 9-6s. Oshoma, after his Yusho, went 7-8. So that's possibly just post-Yusho blues. Hoping for a little bit more from him. But the big story, the big story is going to be happening down here in the Makushita division. Look at not just the top 15 ranks, but look at the top 25 ranks. We have so many guys up here who have been very close to the top, who are making their debuts, or not debuts, but they're making new career highs near this position at the top. We have Kawazoe, Makushita 15 Tsukedashi back in September, 2 straight 5-2s after that. Makushita 0-3 West. If he gets another 5-2, he's a shoo-in. Then we have Hayate Fuji after a 6-1 from Makushita 23 East. He's making his new career high, Makushita 6 West. Ishizaki was Makushita 1, but 2-5. He's falling to 7, but that means he's still up there. Then we have Mukai Nakano, new career high, 5-2. Really hope he can keep carrying that forward. His only real stumble was this Makushita 17, 2-5 back in September. But, since then he's been tearing it up, 6-1, 5-2. Mukai Nakano, he's on fire. Dewa Noryu, with his 3-4 from Makushita 6, only falls to Makushita 11, but that doesn't mean he's out of the woods just yet. He could still get that 7-0 Yusho and get promoted. Just like his counterpart at Makushita 11 West, Hatsuyama, making his highest rank here after another strong 6-1. He hasn't had a losing record since he joined Sumo back in March of 2022. It has been 1 year, and he is already just a few steps away from being salaried. Very exciting to see. After that, we have Shishi, everyone's favorite Ukrainian. He's been having a rough time of it. 1-6 from Makushita 7. So basically the last time he was up here. And it seems like even the second to last time he was up here back in May of 2022. 3-4 from Makushita 7. 4-3 from 14. 4-3 from 11. So, he can hang in this lower part of the upper part of the division. The lower part of the upper part. But once he gets into those single digits, he seems to get smacked back down. His career high is Makushita 7. So I think from this position, Makushita 12, he will have a winning record. I think it's almost assured. But after that, you got to hope he has something to break past this ceiling of Makushita 7. After that, we have another one of my favorites, Kiryuko. His only losing record within recent memory is September 2022, and it was only a 3-4. So, like, there's a lot of potential for this man, Kiryuko. 20 years old. Birthday is on Halloween. How spooky. But, yeah, that is his only losing record of his career back in September. Again, another young, strong guy, baby-faced, pretty cute to look forward to. He is very strong and one of my favorites. After that, we have another one of my favorites in Miyagi, who in his debut, and the reason why all of this is white is because I started color coding in July, obviously. But, yeah, his only losing record was in his debut in the 3rd division, and then after going 6-1 in the 4th, he's been slowly climbing back up. 3 or 4 straight Kachi-koshi, 3 straight in this 3rd division. I'm afraid he's going to get smacked around a bit by some of these other guys, but there's, again, a lot of young, hungry talent right here. Just like, again, in this range, there's a bunch of guys that I'm excited to watch them fight against each other. Because after Miyagi, we have Kanzaki, who was also a Sandamne 100 Sukedashi at the same time as Hatsuyama. But Hatsuyama, despite not having the Yusho, has eclipsed Kanzaki and is at the higher rank. So now we get to see these two guys fight against each other again. 5-2 from Makushita 23. He's making his new career high, and he is just on the edge where if he were to turn 7-0, then he would get that top division, or that 2nd division. People keep going on about how we need new blood in the ranks. They're clearly already here. Yeah, no, that's why I made this list, was to really give you an idea. Because you can see, just looking at it from here on the Bonzuke itself, Terutsuyoshi, he's falling off, but we hope he comes back. No, a lot of new career highs. Mine Aiba, Hayate Fuji, Mukai Nakano, Hatsuyama. All of this within the top 15, and a lot of these guys are young. Like, sure, we like a Kiseyama, but he's old. Shishi is on the almost too old side. Yuma a little bit older. Ishizaki is young. Hayate Fuji is young. So this is going to be really exciting. Yeah, thank you so much, Big Dog. I really appreciate the love. After that, just outside of the joy, still a lot of strong guys. Kaze Keno, 6-1, 2, 3, 4. How many 6-1s in a row does this guy have? It has been a year straight of 6-1 records. Do you think he's going to get another 6-1? Me, I don't think so. This is probably going to be his first big test, because again, a lot of really strong, young, hungry guys. Not to mention a bunch of strong veterans in this area. Will Kaze Keno get smacked around, or will he go for another 6-1? Koto Tebakari doesn't have a losing record to his name, and that one absence over here was due to everything happening with COVID back in July, and we know exactly what happened in that tournament. There was 1 million people out for COVID, but he didn't let that bother him. Another 6-1, 5-2, 4-3, and now Koto Tebakari, Koto Shoho's younger brother, is tearing up these ranks. Right below him, and this is where we hit our first, or not our first, but one of the smaller losing records, Seto no Umi, down to 3-4. Right next to him is Yoshi, 3-4. Yoshi, with that surprise Yusho from Makushita 38, has only been losing since, and I think that's fine, because Yoshi is young. He's 19 years old. He's going to be turning 20 in August. He's been marinating in this 3rd division for quite a while. He made his debut in the 3rd division back in 2020, and he's been marinating here for quite a while, only falling down to a Sandamne once after, being out for injury. And then after that, he went 6-1 and immediately came back up. He's someone I've been watching for a long time, someone I've been paying attention to for a long time, and someone that I think once he finally starts coming into his own, everyone will start paying attention to. And thank you for your subscription, Laura Dog Mom. Thank you so much for the support. After that, we have Mudoho, who he's in yellow because he's in probation. Basically, he's getting a little old for being a young gun rising star, and he hasn't really made much headway. He was someone I was excited about when we first started watching, but he never broke past Makushita 20. He's currently at Makushita 22. Will he be able to break past it now, or will he fall back down? I don't know. Same thing with Nabatame here. Again, just really waffling and not making it up as far as we think he can make it. And, I'm probably going to have to take him on the list, off of the list eventually. Then we have Kaio and Osanai, another pair of younger guys that, we could be patient with. They're not really stand out, but, they are solid young guns in their own right. After that, the red indicates that these guys are two new additions to the list, Kazuto and Takahashi, and you'll see why. Look at those records in white. And they're in white because I wasn't tracking them before I discovered them at the last tournament. 4-3 for Kazuto and 5-2 for Takahashi, but look at everything before that. 7-0 losing the Yusho in the playoff, 6-1, 7-0 Yusho, 6-1, 6-1 losing the Yusho, 6-1 he won the Yusho over this guy. So these two have been butting heads all the way up the Bonzuke, and it's glorious. If these guys can keep fighting each other all the way into the top division, that would be a hilarious rivalry. And I'm looking forward to seeing what these two guys can do up here in Makushita. Thank you for the follow as well, Laura. Maybe that'll be a benefit, since if they do okay, it's more like getting a taste of the lower top division. Yeah. More likely they get bumped back down into the mire of Division 3, which can act like a lot of quicksand. Yeah, no, that's the problem with Division 3. You can get really sucked in. You need to have the willpower to get through Division 3, and that's why we're taking so much time talking about it here. Because that's the same, the problems with Mudoho Nabatame, Fukai and Hoshuzan having the same issues. Hoshuzan finally making it back up after a long losing streak, but that was only because he was winning in Sandamne. Career high of Makushita 35, probably going to take him off the list soon. Fukai, though, he was much, much higher, but he just hasn't been able to make it back up to Makushita 4. It's been how long? He was Makushita 4 in November 2021 and hasn't been anywhere close since then. So, it's a shame, but he's getting sucked down into that quicksand. Yes, Ichinojo is returning this Basho. He is Judio 3. As we go further down this Bonzuke as well, there's a few more guys to talk about here. Hanafusa, Nobehara, Toseiryu. I'm going to kind of go quickly through these guys. Notable one here is going to be Koto Kenryu. That is Koto Tebakari's stablemate. Look forward to seeing him succeed. Hopefully he does. Otani making his debut, and another actual real young buck here. Otani, has 7-0, 6-1, 6-1. Now he's making his debut in this third division. Don't know what he's going to be capable of, but I'm looking forward to it. Dai Shoryu making his way back up here again after being, on that cusp a couple of times, far away from his career high. And when he made it there, it was in July of 22. But, he's been between the third and the fourth division. Once he gets his sea legs, he should be making it slowly up. And then finally, Raiho making his return. Raiho being notable because he was the dude who Hakuho basically tried to convince to go into sumo out of college. Nippon Sports Science University. Has been doing well for himself, but again, just cannot really break into Division 3, so it's really hard for him. Out of everyone in Division 3, it's really hard to call, but I'm putting my full support behind, Ishizaki, Mukai Nakano, Kiryuko, Miyagi, Kanzaki, Koto Tevakata. Man, there's so many guys I like here. I'm really excited to watch Division 3 next tournament, and you guys should be too. After that, we have, Sandamne Division. Some guys making new career highs like Wakamiyabi. Other guys like Fujitoshi, Akiyoshi, and Hogasho falling, waffling, not really making it out of this fourth division, which is a really bad sign. So, if these guys can't make it out of this third division or this fourth division, then, it's a damn shame, but they obviously can't hang. This is supposed to be more of a transitionary division anyway. That's why we're looking at guys like Wakamiyabi, new career high, coming off of a 5-2, not a single losing record to his name, looking pretty good. Kumanoryu debuted in that third division at the last tournament, smacked back down. Again, usually when you debut in a new division, that barrier is very tough to get past, so you gotta give it a few tries, kind of like Raiho is right now. I'm not worried about Kumanoryu, and thank you so much, Wildly Coyote, for your subscription. I really appreciate that. After that, we have Kyoda, who has had a losing record, 2-5 from Sandamne 6, and from 13, but he's making those slow steps up. Not too sure what to think about him. And we have Shunrai here, who, again, waffling in Sandamne, losing and winning and losing and winning. It doesn't look good for him, but he has a funny name, and he's only 17 years old. He's going to be turning 18 after this tournament, so he does still have quite a while to marinate himself, you know, just get that experience, get stronger, and hopefully he can. Takeru Fuji and Toshunryu are two new additions to this list. Takeru Fuji coming off of 2 straight Yusho, whereas Toshunryu is coming off of 2 straight 6-1s and then had to take off at the last tournament due to injury. Hopefully he comes back ready for this tournament and isn't just out. That would be a damn shame. Let's see. Other notable names, other career highs here. It looks like we have Rinko. Rinko is that twin, I think. Yes. Rinko, the twin, 16 years old and doesn't have a losing record yet. He's in the high 4th division. This is a really good sign. Rinko might have a very bright future. Don't expect him to get another winning record here, but do expect him to do his best and perform good sumo. After that, we have Go Seiryu making his new career high. Again, waffling as he comes up here, you know, win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. But it's one of those things where overall he's moving up, and that's what really matters. Let's see, who else do we have? Yamato making his debut in the division. Struggling in that upper part of Joni Don, but finally got that 6-1. Now he's breaking in halfway through Sandamne. Looking good for him, and not sure what to expect. After that, it doesn't look like we have any more new career highs. We do have someone like Kiyonohana making his way back up to Joni Don, but for my money, you're going to want to be looking out for Rinko the most of all. Rinko, 16 years old, looking great. Not really much else. Sandamne, not a very exciting division, but there are a couple of names to look out for. Finally, Joni Don division. Joni Don, you usually don't want to pay attention to a guy who's still stuck in Joni Don. Like, a lot of these guys are in yellow, and that's because, you know, they're still in Joni Don. Career highs in Joni Don. Someone like Zui Tenryu, 17 years old, but he's struggling massively. Not inspiring too much confidence, because when you look at some of these other guys, you know, we have, just using examples in the 4th division, like I said, Rinko hasn't had a losing record. Someone like Tanji, his first losing record was at the last tournament. Go Seiryu, he's at a new career high, and he only has, you know, 2 losing records within the past year and a half. So, like, when you're losing in Joni Don, whether you're younger or older, it's not a good sign. Like, unless you're fresh into it. But these guys all have a lot of experience. That's why we're taking a look at someone like Cole Kiryu. Cole Kiryu, new career high, Joni Don 28. This is his second tournament after a 4-3 from Joni Don 57. Or this is his third tournament, rather. And so, you know, he might be primed to make it to that 4th division soon. Did I get it wrong? Why does Cole Kiryu have Sachi no Fuji? Maybe I messed something up here. Cole Kiryu. There you are. That's what I'm talking about. Edit link. There. That's better. Gaia I think he is still in Joni Don. I don't honestly know. We can check that out. Let's see. Gaia is still in Joni Don. He doesn't have a twin, but I think you're talking about Byakuen, who has had a new career high. Good for him. Because I think they're brothers. But anyway, we have Sato Tanaka, another new addition to the list, but he's getting 3 and 4s, 4 and 3s. Now, when you're losing with 3 and 4s, it's close, you know? Not to mention, it looks like Sato Tanaka is only 16 years old. Not too much to worry about for him. His 3 and 4s, they're close, you know? It's not something to now, if they were like 2 and 5s or 1 and 6s, that's when it would be worrying. Like someone like Zui Tenryu, 2 and 5 after a 4 and 3, and then a 3 and 4 after that 2 and 5. That's not good. A 1 and 6 from Dai Tenshin, like that's your second 1 and 6 within the year. That's terrible. This poor guy on a 2-tournament slide. Takaarashi, Takashoki coming off of an injury. Oh, that's supposed to be a Joni Don. Low guys mixed up at times. IDK. Oh, no, that was Rinko has the twin. Rinko is 16 years old. Hey, Modular Vibe, thank you very much for the raid. We are just going over the Bonzuke right now and who to look out for in these lower parts of this Day 0 preview show. I hope you had a great stream. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, it's Rinko who has the twin, and his twin is, if I remember correctly, Hayashiryu. And Hayashiryu, yes, there he is. Hayashiryu is on 2 straight 2 and 5s. And now, again, 16 years old, can be forgiven a bit, but that's worrying. Especially when his brother is winning. So, Hayashiryu, has some pressure. And thank you for your Prime subscription, Crumph Doll. Hope you had a good time if you were with Modular Vibe stream. If not, let's give you a shout out real quick. There we go. And thank you again for the raid. Anyway, not really many amazing names to look out for in this Joni Don division. And that's one thing I forgot to do was look at like the Yusho winners from Jonokuchi and a lot of these debutantes. So we could actually take a look at some of them now. Kaze no Umi, Koto Sato, Gohaku-un. Looks like those are the highest debutantes, so those are probably the only ones worth looking out. But 6-1 Yusho, 6-1 draw, 6-1 draw. So these guys were in the 3-way playoff in Jonokuchi, and well, now they're in Joni Don, and they are occupying 32 and 34. So might need to look out for these guys as well. I'll have to add them to my list after the stream. But other than that, not really anyone else to look out for in Joni Don. Most of the excitement is in Makushita, and I cannot stress that enough. There is so many good young Rikishi in Makushita right now. That next generation of sumo is knocking on the door, and it's almost here. Now, we talked about who to look out for the lower divisions. And that means now it's time to talk about this top division. Yes, I've already talked about how I finally had a good Kachi-clash. We made it into Magashira 16 after being stuck in Judio for quite a while. But, I still got to improve my scores. This was the first top 100 finish I have ever had in Kachi-clash. It's been terrible, dude. Rank 500, rank 400, 400, and I'm not trying to lose. I'm not trying to lose, I swear. You might think so because I'm choosing Shodai, but come on, Teruno Fuji. You can't fault me for that. Everyone else went 8 and 7. Oh, man. But no, I finally had a good Basho. And now we got to take a look at who we're going to go with for this next Basho. And, well, there's going to be no Ted or no Fuji. Got to pick Takakeisho. Now, this next part is pretty difficult. Wakataka, Kiribayama, Wakamoto Haru, Kotonowaka, Daieisho, and Tobizaru. My heart says Tobizaru, but my heart is also saying Kiribayama. And you know what? Let me actually bring these guys up. Because yes, Tobizaru is my favorite, don't get me wrong, but Kiribayama, he's someone I've been talking about for a long time, is very solid, but can never finish off the tournament. 8-7 off of 3 straight losses, 9-6, 8-7 with 4 straight losses, a 10-5 with 3 straight losses. If he can just not have those losing streaks, then he's an Ozeki level sumo wrestler. And I believe that he is probably the most likely to be the next Ozeki. Because if we want to look at Wakataka Kage and Hoshoryu, sure, they are fan favorites. They are quite strong. You know, Wakataka Kage has that 12-3 Yusho under his belt and another 11-4 Jun Yusho. But there's no consistency here. And it makes me wonder, like, you know, if he were to have become Ozeki, would he be struggling even more? Or, you know, because this is rough for him. He's always good for an 8-7. Yes, you're not wrong. But that doesn't really inspire confidence. I want to get someone who's going to have, you know, 10 plus wins. Hoshoryu, you could usually bet on him. And after coming off of an 11-4 when he was one of the front runners, I thought he was good to go, but then he got injured. And you can't really blame him for this. I don't think you can really blame him for getting injured. He went 6-2, got injured in this match, and then was Fusensho the next day. 3 straight losses because of that ankle injury. If he didn't get hurt, he goes probably 12 wins easy. If he doesn't get hurt, it's going to be him and Takakeisho in a playoff for the Yusho. Maybe even 11-4 for him. But, man, if he didn't get hurt. And that's why I'm kind of leaning Hoshoryu too. Because we know he's strong. And realistically, it was only because he was injured that he didn't get double digits last Basho. He was hot. And I think we can rely on him to start off hot again. I think Hoshoryu is probably the best of the Sekiwake right now. As for the Komusubi, realistically, I would only choose one of these Komusubi if they are your favorites. Like I said, mine is Tobizaru. And, well, I did pick Tobizaru at the last Basho. But I don't think I can pick him here. I think I either want to pick Hoshoryu or Kiribayama. Now, the question for both is Hoshoryu fully healed? And is Kiribayama going to keep up this consistency? Mita is an Ozeki level Rikishi first and foremost. He's been in the Sanyaku for years. Well, when we get to that section, we could talk about him, yeah. But for right now, it's really tough to say because, you know, Wakamoto Haru, he's been getting those winning records and he's solid. Kotonowaka might be the next hot thing. Daieisho, known factor, very coin flippy. I wouldn't bet on him. Tobizaru, wild and fun, entertaining in the ring, but that doesn't mean I'll bet on him. You can basically toss a dart in the Sanyaku and have a decent score. Yeah. Because that's the thing with Daieisho too is, you know, he's a Yusho winner as well. He can get a double-digit score in this top division. It's just a matter of will he actually? Tobizaru is the least likely to get 10 wins though. You know, again, as much as I love him, he is my favorite. I think he's the least likely. How is Hoshoryu's fitness? I have to assume he's fine now. If he was dealing with a high ankle sprain, it's not like that needs months and months to heal. if he just went easy for a couple of weeks after the Basho, he should be at full power. So I'm gonna assume whole Shoryu is full power. But this is really difficult because I want to go whole Shoryu. I want to go Kiribayama. Tobizaru is my favorite. That Henka counter Tobizaru pulled off day 10 was amazing. Oh yeah, dude. Dude, that's what I'm saying. Tobizaru has fun matches. And I remember that match exactly because right before that match, someone asked me who's my favorite, and I said Tobizaru because he's very interesting in the ring. And then he Henkas. I'm like, yeah, that was interesting. Yes, Teruno Fuji is still recovering for surgery, so he is not going to be here. It's unfortunate, but that means we will have a 100% power yokozuna in May. Look forward to that. I'm probably going to pick Tobizaru just because he's my favorite, but at least in my heart, I can say if I had chosen whole Shoryu. But I will be going Tobizaru here because he is my favorite. And it's plain and simple that. You don't need to put statistics into it. You don't need to put, justify it to anybody. Just go, Chad, he's my favorite. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Hammer. Whole Shoryu, Wakataka, not consistent with those double digits. Kiribayama, I want him to be. And then Wakamoto Haru, I keep underrating him. I keep underselling him so much, and he keeps overperforming my expectations.
Sorry.
What the hell was that?
I got to the part where Inaru uses his ultimate move.
Oh,
and he makes the
fight?
face. Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay. I mean, that's an iconic moment in One Piece. So the wife is reading One Piece. She's finishing up Skypiea because she's reading the Aneru fight. And she just laughed because it was Enel using his ultimate move against Luffy. And then he makes the face. I can actually bring up that face as a little sidetrack. One of the most iconic moments
I just got to that face.
in One Piece history. It's so good. But yeah, I am very simply choosing Tobizaru here. Next part is very interesting. Iron Man Tamawashi, former Ozeki's Shodai and Mitakeyumi, Ryuden, who is, again, way overperforming my expectations, Yusho winner Abi. We have 4 Yusho winners in this division alone. Tamawashi, Abi, Mitakeyumi, and Shodai. We have more Yusho winners in the Magashira 1-5 than we have Yusho winners in the Sanyaku. That's crazy. Nishikigi, Onosho, Meisei, Kotosho, Ho, Midori Fuji. You can make a case for some of these guys. You can make a case, I think I can categorize them like this. So, Onosho, Meisei, and Midori Fuji, we've seen them be solid. They are not Sanyaku mainstays, but they can hang. They can get back up into the Sanyaku. Well, Midori Fuji hasn't been there yet, but he's been in the Joy. He's been in the upper 3 ranks. And I think they can make it back up. You have to also consider that Magashira 5 West, Midori Fuji might just be right outside that sweet spot. That means he doesn't actually fight the Sanyaku. So Midori Fuji might be a really good pick here. But those 3 guys I mentioned, they can hang. It's a coin flip on whether or not they're going to hang. Then the next category, I think, is Koto Shoho, Nishikigi, and Ryuden. Now, all three of these guys are, I think they're over their head here, especially Ryuden and Nishikigi. Nishikigi, the crazy thing is these aren't their career highs, but Ryuden is on the older side. He's 32. He was suspended for quite a long time. And by quite a long time, I mean 6 months. But, he's come back and he's been on a tear, 9-6. He was a komusubi at one point, but even back then he got smacked back down July of 2019. Nishikigi, his career high, Magashira 2 with a Kinboshi all the way back in 2019, and we're 4 years removed from that. Does Nishikigi still have that kind of, gas in the tank? Nishikigi and Ryuden both 32. Again, maybe I'm underrating both of them, but I'm really not confident in these two guys especially. Koto Shoho, the last time Koto Shoho was anywhere this high, he got smacked around and he basically just died. I still remember this vividly too. January 2021, 2-13, out for injury the next Basho, and then he languishes in judo for a year. After getting a winning record for Magashira 5, his sumo spirit breaks for an entire year. Probably something like imposter syndrome. You never know what's going on with these types of guys. But then he pops off at the last tournament. He has 2 straight losing records. July doesn't really count because that was COVID. But 2 straight losing records into an 11-4 June Yusho. I'm of the very strong opinion that that was a flash in the pan and that he is still very unproven. He's young, don't get me wrong. He's 23 years old. He's a good sumo wrestler, but this is, again, above his pay grade. If he were like 3 or 4 ranks lower, I would say, hell yeah, vote for this guy. But, I just don't see him succeeding against everyone above him. And again, at Magashira 5, he might be in that sweet spot where he doesn't actually fight the Sanyaku, because Terunofuji is absent, and that means, Takakeisho has to fight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So if nobody gets injured, then it is everyone Magashira 4 and up that have to fight into Takakeisho. That means Koto Shoho and Midori Fuji might dodge the Sanyaku. And if that happens, then maybe Koto Shoho can hang. Because the last time he was up this high, he had an 8-7. I don't believe he will do that well, though. And then the next class, and probably the most likely to vote on, Mitakayumi, Abi, Tamawashi, and Shodai. Those 4 men have all won the Yusho before. 2 of them are former Ozeki. All of them are former Sanyaku. You could throw Ryuden in as a former Sanyaku as well, and Meisei. But they haven't won a Yusho. Which, this class at Magashira 1 through 5 is very difficult to call, because I don't think any of them are going to compete for the Yusho, but they're all very strong. Is Onosho former Sanyaku? Yeah, what is going on with that? Highest rank was, oh yeah, Komusubi. Look at that. He is former Sanyaku. Oh, that was before I started watching. That's why I don't remember that. All right. That was just my ignorance right there. Yeah, Onosho, former Sanyaku as well. But he wasn't a Yusho winner like these 4 guys were. Most of Koto Shoho's wins were against lower than Magashira 5. He beat a slightly hurt Abi and a wild Daisho towards the end of the tourney, so I wouldn't pick him. Yeah, I probably wouldn't pick him either, but I mean, come on, you never know with some of these guys. Saludos from Argentina. Welcome. Hope you're having a good time. So, Mitakeumi, for the longest time, I believed he would be the next Ozeki and yokozuna, but after making Ozeki, he falls within the year, and that really sucks. Don't know what's wrong with him. Some people say it's a lingering injury. I don't know. Abi, he was a forever Komusubi, and clearly anything below like Magashira 4 is something he can dominate. But he's not going to be fighting down. He's going to be fighting up. And because of that, I believe he's probably going to get an 8 and 7. Tamawashi is interesting. Because he got the Yusho with a 13 and 2 from Magashira 3. And then from Komusubi, fighting largely the same guys, he goes 6 and 9. And then from Magashira 2, fighting the same guys, he goes 9 and 6. Do I think he's going to win the Yusho again? No, absolutely not. But you can't count him out. Strong, wily veteran. Good, solid sumo. Very powerful, and sometimes he just gets taken advantage of. Can't help that. But honestly, I think Tamawashi might be the best bet here. Shodai. Nobody likes Shodai. I feel bad for Shodai. Nobody likes Shodai. Finally loses Ozeki after being an Ozeki for all of 2021, all of 2022. One of the least liked Ozeki, which is a damn shame because he's not terrible. That 4-11, 6 and 9, 6 and 9 suggests that he's bad. But I don't know, guys. I don't know. Now that he's not Sanyaku anymore, does he turn it back up? And he's like, you know what? I want a slightly higher salary. Let me just get back into Komusubi. I don't know. I think he's the biggest wild card here. Shodai 14 and 1 this tournament? Yeah, right. I agree, friend. I think Tamawashi is the strongest Rikishi here. Which is funny because he's the oldest one, and I was just disparaging Ryuden and Nishikigi for being 32, but Tamawashi is, what, like 38? But like, Tamawashi is just legit built different. Honestly, I think I'm going to go Tamawashi here. Next part of the Bonzuke, this is where it's going to get a little bit easier. Oops, I don't want Sado no Umi. Endo, Sado no Umi, Hokuto Fuji, Takayasu, Ichi Yamamoto, Ura, Aoyama, Hirado Umi, Myogiryu, and Nishiki Fuji. So we have a decent number of fan favorites here. Takayasu, Ura, Hirado Umi, and Nishiki Fuji definitely got their fans. Ichi Yamamoto, I think this is near his peak. Endo, Hokuto Fuji, we know they can do better than this. Sado no Umi, he's, a good veteran, but I don't see him really being the best guy to choose here. Same with Aoyama and Myogiryu. They're good, strong veterans, but I don't think they're the best in these parts of the division. Was Keen Bozan the one with the overly wrapped shoulder last tournament? I actually don't remember. Yes, the tournament does start tomorrow. Takayasu is the no shit Sherlock safe pick here. He really is. Like, if you pick Takayasu, that is the safe pick and the smart pick. But I'm also worried about his health. I don't know how well recovered from the injury he is, and he seems to be getting more injury prone. So, I like him, but I don't think I'm gonna pick him. Yeah, if Takayasu is healthy, he goes 11 and 4, 12 and 3, easy. So yeah, of course he's the safe pick here. What was his injury? I think it was a chest injury at the last tournament. I don't actually remember. Then we have someone like Nishiki Fuji, who was at Magashira 5-4 the last two Basho. And the last time he was down here, he got a 5-10. You know, really came out of nowhere. It was really good for him. Next pick is Aoyama. That's true. It is the month of March, and that used to be a meme before it stopped being a meme. Aoyama used to do better in the month of March, but because that's when he got 11-4 Junyuu show, and then in 2022, well, he went 7-8, but then he turned it on for May 10-5. He seems to have a double-digit record at least once per year. So the question is he gonna blow it early and get his double-digit win here, or is he gonna, wait for a later Basho, maybe July, who knows? Even back in March of 2020, 11-4. Back in March of 2019, 12-3. So really, Aoyama, if you want to go for the memes, if you want to go for the jokes, I definitely would. I would go for Aoyama here. But I think, because we also have someone like Hokuto Fuji, who he and Onosho used to be more similar, where if they were down this low, they were the easy pick to get 10 plus wins to go back up to like Magashira 2, and then they would lose all the way back down to like Magashira 7-8, and then they'd get 10 wins. Just kind of yo-yo like that. But I don't think Hokuto Fuji is the safe pick anymore. And then, of course, Uda. You cannot count out Uda. Uda, having been up near the top of that division for quite a while. Magashira 3, Magashira 1 as recently as last March. But he wasn't able to hang, and he even had a losing record at the last tournament. So I know a lot of people are going to pick Uda as well. So, this is a really hard choice to make. You want someone like Hirado Umi, who's making his, career high here, kind of an unknown. You don't know if he's going to come into his own. Someone like Nishiki Fuji, who is a known factor, even though it was only really recent results because he's only been in this top division for less than a year. But, he made it up there. And that's one of those things, too, is when you get smacked back down, it depends on how you handle it. It's like that dumb Rocky quote. It's about getting back up and keep moving forward. Adrian! But this is going to be the test for this guy here, Nishiki Fuji. Is he going to get back up and get like another double-digit record, or is he going to be like, damn, I got smacked around, and then fall some more? So it's hard to call. Takayasu is the safest bet. Aoyama, if you're doing it for the memes. Uda, Hirado Umi, and Nishiki Fuji, if you want to take that dark horse pick. People like Uda because he's babyface spectacle that pulls off the occasional rare Kimarite. Other than that, he's quite mid. Yeah, you're not wrong. Because in his losses, like in some of those losses, he gets dominated. But then in some of those losses, like his match against Koto Shoho last tournament, that was an amazing way to win from Koto Shoho. Because Uda had that leg pick in the bag. But then Koto Shoho just sits down on top of him. And it's like, whoa. Like, Sadano Umi can be a real sleeper. You're not wrong. Let's take a look at Sadano Umi real quick. Now, he is a, let's see, highest ranked Magashira 1, just outside that tippy top. Unfortunate, but he's usually a mid-carder. Usually a low to mid-carder, so I'm not going to say his being up this high is a bit of a flash in the pan, because he's been up in these ranks for the past year almost after that 11-4 surprise Junyuu show in May. But he's not very remarkable. He does not get 10 wins very often. Yeah, I wouldn't vote for Sadanaumi. Hmm. This is rough. I want to pick Takayasu, but I also want to choose a dark horse, you know, just to be different. Then again, I'm kind of already doing that with Tobizaru. So it's hard to say. Takayasu, the safe no-brainer. Ura, Hirata Umi, Nishiki Fuji, dark horses. Ichi Yamamoto is a complete unknown. I personally have no confidence in Hokuto Fuji, Endo, Sadanaumi, or Myogiryu to really outdo themselves here. Then Aoyama for the memes. I'm gonna go Aoyama. It's the month of March. He was a little bit delayed last year, but it's the month of March. You know, I think the Haru Basho is in the Osaka, right? Let's see. Yeah, they're in Osaka. So maybe Aoyama just likes it in Osaka, you know? I think I'm gonna stay with Aoyama. Ooh, my voice cracked really bad right there. What am I still in puberty? Out of all the fat Bulgarian dudes in this basho, Aoyama will do the best. He is definitely one of the most powerful Bulgarians I know. Finally, the lower part of the division. You know I have to pick Takanosho because if I don't, my wife will kill me, but he's also kind of a safe bet here. Former Sanyaku mainstay, all the way down at Magashira 11, seems to be struggling for an unknown reason, but, you know, I feel like he could make his way back up. High risk pick. High risk, high reward, baby. Other picks down here include, and I'll categorize them like this. Azumaryu, Takara Fuji, Kotoeko, Tsurugisho, Chiyoshima, Mitoryu. No faith that any of those guys are going to get 10 plus wins. Kotoeko belongs down here. Tsurugisho can climb the Bonzuke. Chiyoshima can climb the Bonzuke. Mitoryu, just no faith. Azumariu is coming off of his first career top division Kachi-clash. Don't think he'll climb any higher. I think I mentioned Kageaki in that group too. Not really any confidence for him to go back up the Bonzuke either. Like, I'm not confident in a lot of these guys. I like Kotoeko, but I'm not confident in him. How you doing, Nick? The next guys to cover would be someone like let's see, Dai Shoho, recent debutante too? No, he's not. I guess I could throw Dai Shoho into that too. Career high of Magashira 9. Not really confident in him either. Then we have the young guns. Keen Bozan, Bushozan, Hokuseiho, and Oho. These are the guys of the future. These guys, they might not be your best bets, but they're definite dark horses. You might think Oho is a known factor because he's been in this top division for quite a while. He's coming off of a horrendous 4-11 tournament from his career high of Magashira 8. But you got to remember, this dude is 23 years old and he's only been in sumo for 5 years. He still has some time to grow. He is young, and even though he's not like, 20-year-old Atami Fuji or, any other young, whatchamacallit, what was I going to say, prodigy. Like, Hoshoryu is also 23, but obviously they've had two different paths in life. Oho, you can't really count out. He still has a lot of room to grow. Where's his ceiling? Hopefully it's higher than the bottom of Magashira. But I think he is not a bad pick here. Hokuseiho, Honestly, I think he's going to get exposed by the veterans in this division. Because we've talked about it before, and we see him struggle in Judio with his own Tachi-ai and with his strategy. I think some of the veterans here are going to give him a run for his money. Kotoeko, he's not going to know how to deal with Kotoeko. Takeda Fuji wants to be in those Yotsuzumo matches. Chiyoshoma probably might just Henka him. Tsurugisho loves those Yotsuzumo matches. So, like, I think Hokuseiho is ripe to be abused here. His strategy is going to get so hard called out that he'll be lucky to get a winning record. That is my very bold prediction. You're not wrong, Stanley. If he does get exposed, it'll definitely benefit him and probably make him reconsider his strategy. The veterans there are also of a lower level, I think. In Judio, I mean. Because sure, Hokuseiho did well enough in Judio to make it here, but those veterans in Judio are mainstays in Judio for a reason. Like, we have someone like Kotoeko and Takeda Fuji, who both of those guys have been a long time in the top division. Tsurugisho goes between both of them, but Tsurugisho, like I said, also likes the Yotsuzumo. And then, if he has to fight up, like if he's fighting Myogiryu is, much more seasoned than someone like Chiyomaru, who Chiyomaru always goes between the second and first division. You know what I'm saying? And if he doesn't get exposed here, then maybe he is just that strong. But of the four I mentioned, I think Hokuseiho is the least confidence. Kinbozan and Bushozan, they're more general styles, and this is going to be a good test for them. Kinbozan and Bushozan, I could see them going 10-5, or I could see them going 5-10. Because their styles are more general all around. Like, they're not as one-dimensional as Hokuseiho or as one-dimensional as, like Tsurugisho. But I feel like the speed and the power, again, from some of these veterans might trip them up. I feel like if anyone gives these young guys trouble, it's going to be Kotoeko. Because you think, oh, he's small, I can just move him, right? But Kotoeko pushes hard. He goes hard on those, that belly-to-belly thrusting. I didn't want to make that sound sexual, but it ended up sounding that way anyway. Kageaki, he's fought these guys before because Kageaki was in Judio, and I don't know what his head-to-head is, but Kageaki, again, I don't really have confidence in him. But of these four, I don't know. Maybe Kinbozan, maybe Bushozan. But, I'd have to actually see the number of people voting for these guys in order to really solidify that. But me, personally, I'm going with Takanosho, the Nob Dog. My wife's favorite, one of my top favorites. He is, again, it's former Sanyaku mainstay. I feel like Takanosho, I don't know, because he also has his own issues with, diving out of the ring himself at the edge. Kotoeko has a sensual presence on the dohyo.
You have to go with Takanosho anyway, because if you didn't,
It's true. That's what I said. You would kill me if I didn't choose Takanosho. So, yeah. And then after that, yeah, I think Takanosho is the safest bet here. Again, you can choose one of these four if you want a good dark horse pick. You might be able to add Kotoeko to the mix, so like maybe these five. But I think just the best option is going to be Takanosho, and I feel like he's going to have the most votes here. And then outside of these six, Takanosho and the five that are highlighted, it'll just come down to who you like. Like, if you personally like Chiyoshoma, then you'll probably vote for him, you know? But honestly, I don't know anyone who likes Chiyoshoma. A lot of people think Chiyoshoma is a heel, which I don't see it myself. So let's save these picks. And, well, let's hope for a good Basho again. That is going to wrap it up on the YouTube side. Going to be ending the stream on the YouTube side. Look forward to tomorrow, day 1 of the Basho, as we continue it over on the Twitch side, because the Twitch, well, they don't get, they're at 0 risk for getting a YouTube strike, which, that is because we're going to start watching on the Twitch side. Going to watch the Dohyo Purification Ceremony, the Dohyo Matsuri, and then we have a lot of training videos from the Sumo Kyokai. So we're just going to chillax, watch some of these training videos, and, you know, we can just keep talking the shit about sumo. So I will leave the link to my Twitch in the chat. That is, actually, I think I have a command for that. Oh, is Nightbot not there? Okay. There you go. Twitch.tv/Leo Dickinson Sumo if you want to continue the conversation. And that is going to be... Oh, now there's Nightbot like 5 minutes late. But I also do want to thank you all on the YouTube side for supporting the channel thus far, because we do have super chats and memberships available. I already have my first member, and now they have access to emotes, and they'll have a badge next to their name. And you can also have that access to emotes to use in this YouTube chat for $5 a month. And the more you subscribe, or the more you join month to month, the fancier your little tag next to your name is going to be. And yeah, that will wrap it up here again on the YouTube side. I know my wrap-ups are very long-winded, and it's because I'm Italian, you know. It's the end of the party, gotta go home, so we all stand up, we hug each other. Thank you for the follow, the Boba Blunt. You know, we stand up, we hug, we kiss, and then we have a 20-minute conversation as we're, you know, standing in the foyer. And then it's like, okay, come on, let's go, bye. You walk out to the car, you're standing around outside. You have another 20-minute conversation standing next to the car. You know, that's how it is. And thank you for your membership, Trucker Mark. Welcome to the Magashira ranks. And yeah, join over on the Twitch side if you want to continue watching the Dohyo Matsuri and some training videos. I will catch you cats later, and we'll see you tomorrow for some more sumo. We know the real reason is you have no friends and are lonely and want to get all the company you can. Yeah.